Foxborough area.
Yes.
So
you cannot take the interstate. So it takes you all back roads, and you're going left, right, through this, through
I like
that.
the Midwest guys, they call it the interstate.
Interstate.
Yes, we call it the highway. But
the highway. Get in the car.
So an hour and 25 minutes.
Yes.
To get from Foxborough, Massachusetts to Boston.
Not even Boston. Is this Boston?
No,
technically it's Brighton is Boston.
Okay. Well, it's not like the hat of the city. Huh?
No. Right. You're still 20 minutes. You're still like 15 minutes outside.
I mean, and it's not even raining. Like it's double time when it's raining. It's double time.
Was there an accident? There had to be.
No,
just the traffic is crazy.
Is bad. So I apologize. Don't fine me, please.
No fines.
No.
What
fines.
did Bill used to do? Wiggy was just talking about fine. Would he fine for being late, or would he just release you?
I think I got fined like $5,000 one year.
Woo!
For being 2 pounds overweight.
Damn.
And listen, this was at the end of my career, and I was never overweight, ever. I was 260 on the dot from the time I walked in the building to the end of my career.
Wow.
This one particular day, I happened to walk in, and I might have had a breakfast sandwich, and I might have ate something. I got on the scale, and I looked at Ted, and I said, Ted, it's 262. Am I good? He goes, you're good. Because usually if I get on the scale and I go, I'll go jump in the sauna, I'll go sweat it out, I'll get 2 pounds off me, I won't eat breakfast.
Right.
In my case, I go to the ladies' room accidentally at a concert.
That's bad. So anyway, I just don't think anything about it. I just go on my day. A couple days later, I get a note sitting in my locker, and it was like, you've been docked like 5,200 for being 2 pounds overweight.
That was so much more than when I played. I was telling Greg, it was like $4.50 per pound when I played.
It was like a couple G's. It was crazy.
Wow, that is
And they
nuts.
they take that right out of the check?
Yeah,
that's the way
that is terrible.
Gonzo.
Yeah. Well, one year I barely pushed the quarterback, and he like did the whole like old man falling backwards, arms flailing and all that. And Fitzpatrick, I got a flag, 15 yards, and that was like 15-5. Yeah. And you can't even. Comes right out of your check.
Yeah.
Comes right out.
But that's not through the Pats. That's
through the league. I got uniform violations. I got $5,000 for like socks one time.
I think they take it out after tax too. So it's even worse.
Do you get paid once a week?
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So like a normal job.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks.
Every Monday.
Nice checks,
I think Monday. That's
yeah, I'm sure those checks.
Yeah.
I would love to see what that looks like.
We don't want
crazy.
No IOUs when we're gambling on the plane. I want my money on Wednesday.
Rob Ninkovich is brought to you by Catches Law, your attorneys, your neighbors, and Catches is the official law firm of the New England Patriots. So visit catcheslaw.com. Speaking of them, did you imagine that this team would be in first place in the division after week 6?
I didn't think they'd be in first place, but things have worked out in their favor. And I would say that if you look at the league as a whole and the AFC in general, there's really no big, crazy, great football teams right now. And the teams that we thought were going to be good are not. The Ravens are not a good football team right now. Cincinnati, you lose their quarterback. A lot of injuries, a lot of big key guys that are going down from injuries. And then teams that you didn't think were going to be good are good. So did you think the Colts were going to be a top team in the NFL? Not at all. Did you think the Pats were going to be a top team? I mean, the faithful, of course, but football realists are like, they got a young quarterback, they got a whole new roster, big turnover, new coaching staff, and they've done a good job. So I think it's a combination of some great play. You got a good young quarterback who's playing really well right now. He's playing phenomenal, seeing the field well, making right decisions, getting the ball down the field. And then some teams that we thought were going to be good are not good. So it's wide open at this point. And I think the crazy part is at this point right now in the season, moving forward, there are teams that are going to have opportunities to be deep playoff run teams that we didn't even think were going to have a chance to sniff it. So, we'll see what happens. I think if the Pats continue to do like they have the first, part of the season, and they continue to improve and work on a few things and get better in some areas, they're going to be a playoff football team.
That's why I bet on them win the AFC championship.
And then if you look at the Bills right now, they're struggling to figure out what they are.
Right.
They're not really. They don't have an identity. Their identity is Josh Allen. Right? Their defense is porous.
And Sean McDermott said it the other night after the game, like, we can't rely on him, on his arm only, but yet they're doing that.
Right.
Like that's
the problem. They're one-dimensional. So, You can't be one-dimensional in the NFL. You have to have a good running game or a good play action or a good, he has
good
just
running back.
Yeah. James Cook is really good.
He's very good.
But he was like 52% of the plays, like no third downs the other night. They're not using him.
But doesn't maybe that will settle our argument, right? So we're arguing with Scheim about the offensive coordinator. Isn't it the offensive coordinator's job?
The quarterback coach isn't calling the plays.
I know that.
Right? So the quarterback coach can help prepare a player for the game plan. So you go through the whole week, and this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're not going to do. And if you see this look, we're going to go here. If you see a 3-by-1 look and it's open and it's there, run it. If there's light box, run it to the light box.
Rob,
it's a
then
heavy
you would
box.
attribute like the phantom hitch that people were talking about in preseasons, and
who was talking about a phantom hitch?
People have talked about this with Drake Maye in the preseason.
Am I an owl?
Beat writers have.
Who? The beat writers. The beat writers. The beat writers. Okay.
And also the bad footwork. You would attribute helping him fix that to the quarterback's coach, correct?
No offense to plumbers, but I look like a plumber if it was up to the beat writers, and I wouldn't have played it down in the NFL. So, sometimes the beat writers can be wrong. And at the end of the day, honestly, and Wiggy knows this because at the end of the day, a coach puts you in a position as a player to make plays. If your footwork is a little bit different, but not technically perfect, but you still get the job done. There was a coach that once told me done is better than perfect. Right. So I want a player that gets the job done, but isn't perfect because we're all imperfect.
If you're saying that you think that the team just needs to improve week after week and you look at the trade deadline, do you think that they improve through the trade deadline or do you think that they improve with the guys that they already have?
No, you're always looking to grab some more talent at the trade deadline. But I think I said it before. There are some positions that are easier to attain that give you more talent versus you grab somebody that has to learn a deep offense or, hey, if you just grab a pass rusher, hey, pin your ears back, go get the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll learn as the weeks go, but my first week here, I can go contribute. If you go get a number one receiver, like, okay, yeah, you run a go route, run an in cut, run an over route, and then it's going to take a little time to learn that. So I think they're always constantly looking to improve the team through the deadline, but you also have to look at the other side of it. What are we going to give up for that? I don't want to give up a first or a second round pick for somebody that, potentially is an older veteran.
Right. Yeah, so. Scheim has been on, I'm sure you've heard, this odd kick for most of the season, giving zero credit to Josh McDaniels when it comes to
I think he's the most important addition that they've made. The most important addition that they've made in this offseason.
More so than Mike Vrabel?
No, obviously Vrabel's the head coach, but I'm saying you have a head coach, and then you go and you get players, and then you go and get a coaching staff. He's the most important piece that they brought in for a young quarterback. Because think about it now. I
would argue Will Campbell is more important than Josh McDaniels. But okay.
Well, Will Campbell's a great player, but listen, at the end of the day, what were the beat writers talking about? His arm length.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Did we ever talk about his arm length? Short arms?
Yes.
I think some people talked about that. I don't have a problem with that. Like Matt Light doesn't have very long arms. I have the shortest arms of any. They had a list of Bill Belichick's starting outside linebackers of his whole career. You know what my arm length is? Dead last. Dead last, 31 inches.
Right.
Willie McGinnis has Willie McGinnis is like go gadget, 50-inch arms. And I'm dead last.
Get the job done.
Fifth all-time in sacks.
Greg just has short arms at certain moments of the night.
Yeah, when the check comes.
Oh my God.
Well, Nick, see, that's that's a great point that I don't think Scheim and beat writers understand, right? It's about getting the job done. And you might not fit into the prototypical measurables and footwork and technique, but it's about, and when you get the job done, a large part of that is your coach putting you in the right position.
And motivating you in a specific way. Because some players you have to, and now it's changing. We talked about this as well. Some coaches understand the best ways to motivate a player. Like myself, like Tom, Bill might say something to Tom like, our so-called best quarterback. And you're like sitting there like, what?
Yeah.
He is the best quarterback, but it's just, well, I guess you can't get it done, Rob. I guess I'm going to have to put somebody else out there to do it. And
it's just to poke you.
It's just to poke you.
Get you pissed off.
Just get you pissed off.
Is that why somebody like your guess, why somebody like Mike McDaniel is unable to be successful?
I said years ago that I thought it's a tough job for him because you have to stand in front of a room of grown men, 90 grown men in the offseason, and have every single one of them look at you and you lead them and they have to believe in everything you say. But if you have a hard time communicating and you have a hard time relaying a message, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because the player has to, number one, respect you, and they also, number two, have to believe in everything you say. If you don't have the ability to speak and relay a message and have the buy-in of the players, you're never going to have success.
We see the fraudulence easy.
On the other side of that, though, is that why Mac Jones didn't work under Bill Belichick? Because he couldn't handle Bill saying stuff like that to him?
No, I think it was the situation. I mean, Mac Jones was a much better quarterback with who is his offensive coordinator? Josh McDaniels.
Yep.
Then Josh McDaniels, he leaves, and the whole thing kind of falls apart, and there was really no weapons. There's no offensive line. There's a big plethora of issues there.
Right.
So I think that it's a mixture of, situation. I mean, life is all about situations, timing. I think it was bad time. Now he goes to another place, and how does he look now? He looks pretty dang good because he's with a different offensive coordinator. The team is better. You have more weapons to throw to. Who does he have as a running back? McCaffrey, a go-to guy. So it's all situations.
Looking ahead to Sunday and the fact that these guys may be happy with the fact that their head coach isn't there any longer. Is that a boost for the Titans heading into this game?
I think it's just a dumpster fire when you fire your coach this early into the season. So I don't expect them to have more juice because they just fired their head coach. And I feel like you got Vrabel coming into town, so he's going to be ready to go. He's jacked up for this one. I mean, this is like Diggs against Buffalo. He's ready. He's going to be ready to go. He wants to show everybody that they made a mistake by not keeping him there, and they made a mistake by hiring somebody else, and that guy's not there. So, I think it's going to be another situation where, maybe a motivating factor to the team is there's been a point in your life where somebody has not wanted you. So let's go out here as a team and let's show everybody that.
Now, Sean, I believe you did point out
we are wanted.
The analytics say the fired coach bounce is legit.
Oh, there's in the gambling community, there's always a fired coach bump. You always be weary of the team whose coach just got fired because there's generally a bump. Like, look at what happened when they canned McDaniels in Vegas. Antonio Pierce immediately comes out and wins his first football game. So it's just a be weary situation more than anything.
I could see. I mean, yeah, I guess.
But you're also getting that. You're also
like somebody motivated. That one, I guess I could see with Pierce, that team, because Josh was probably every day like, we suck, like just going crazy.
They were like smoking cigars in the locker room.
Yeah, I know. What a joke. If you were smoking a cigar in a locker room and you just won your third game, I'd knock it out of your mouth.
It's almost like a Gatorade bath.
What's the point of smoking a cigar? We just beat the Giants. And it was the Giants, I do believe.
Yeah. Gerard Mayo did get the Gatorade bath after that week one.
And I thought that was real silly.
But you're getting the bump for the revenge game for Vrabel.
Yes.
So it kind of like
a
levels
everything
out. And I've always looked at, and I agree with you on the Josh McDaniels thing. You know better than anybody because you were actually with Josh. Like, what is Josh doing behind the scenes that is really making Drake Maye, play the way he's playing? Because you were actually there with him. I was there with him, but when I was there, he was more like holding cards.
Well, I don't think right now Drake has the complete control in the whole playbook even right now. I think that Josh has probably been smart with how do I install my offense? How do I install an offense that has a mobile quarterback that I know can get out of situations, who can run, which Tom, let's face it, he's a statue back there. Right. Tom's not running for first downs. Tom's not, trick playing it, which we did a little bit of that, right? The throwbacks. I mean, the one they threw back to Tom, the one he dropped. Let's not talk about that. But I think that there's maybe a different excitement for Josh with, hey, I can run a style of offense that I really haven't been able to run before, and I can also implement all my old school stuff. So I can run what I love to run that I've run with Tom, because we have a guy that can throw from the pocket, but I can also do maybe some move the pocket stuff, maybe some flat to the right stuff or left if you're a defender. Mm-hmm. So I think right now, I don't think they have the full offense together yet. I think it's still slowly coming in because you have a young guy in his second year that you're trying to continue to boost his confidence, and they've done a great job of that. I mean, think about week 1 where we're at right now. Drake's got to feel pretty good about himself.
Right. And Josh even said that, like, we haven't even remember there was that whole point in time where it's like, when Josh was like, we haven't even put in, which is a small part of, we're not overloading him. People thought they were overloading him, and Josh was like, we haven't even done that. So it's interesting that you say that.
There's also probably going to be a control aspect of it to where, hey, I'll give you 2 plays. You kill it, or live dead tags, all that stuff. Everyone's like, what is he talking about? It's 2 plays within a play, and depending on the defense, you select the play that you feel is the best fit based on numbers. Because at the end of the day, football's all about numbers.
It's freedom at the line.
Freedom at the line. Yeah. Maybe you can check some stuff. Go into something he's more comfortable with, and in 2 minute, you got to think 2 minute is usually your best plays that a team is most confident in running. So if he can have a good amount of plays that he's confident with, you give him more control, and then he turns into a guy that can check at the line of scrimmage, a guy that's the Drew Breeses of the world, the Mannings of the world, Toms of the world, where as a defender, you're like, okay, don't show our safety movement. Do not show the safeties. If we rotate too early, he's going to check the play. If you're a blitzing linebacker, do not take a step until you know he's going into his cadence, or else he's going to say, check, check, check. 52's the mic. Rita, slide the line right. All that
Courtney
stuff.
says Rita, or she used to at Loco before she was pregnant.
Truly. Can't wait for that moment again.
All right, we got Rob Ninkovich is here.
Ariba.
Aruba is beautiful, by the way.
It is, yeah.
I love
You
Aruba.
should be a citizen of Aruba.
Yeah.
Trying.
You kind of have the end of the dreads are kind of Aruba-ish.
Yeah, they are
a
kind of
little sun
highlights.
kiss.
You're my lead this morning, but I wanted you to weigh in on science determining that the Kansas City Chiefs are getting calls left and right.
Well, I have a silver F-350, and the birds poop on it all the time. I heard about that scientific research, and I think that's BS. But anyway, I honestly, I don't know. I'd have to see some more of the research and see some more of this, like where they're getting their facts from. I could tell you this, though. The quarterback, once they get to a specific level of success and, protection, honestly, they're going to get more calls. I mean, I think if you look at Patrick Mahomes' early part of his career versus where he's at now, or in general, did you see Jackson Dart get absolutely destroyed and no flags? Like, the dude dropped weight on his chin and smashed his face. And I remember just being thinking in the moment, that's got to be a flag, right? No flags. If that was Patrick Mahomes, there would be 6 flags from every direction just flying in. The back judge would be flinging a flag across the field. So, the thing that bothers me is I think Kansas City has put themselves in the position where they're annoying because of the way that the flags are thrown in certain instances. The quarterback acting like he's going to go out of bounds, doesn't go out of bounds. Right. Then he flops on the sideline, or he gets hit and he flops and he looks right up to the ref, and his chin strap is across his face because it's loose, and then he points to his head, and then they throw the flag.
But did you guys deal with that, though? Like, in the league, when you were playing for the Pats and Brady was at that level?
I think Tom got a few calls.
And the other teams,
but then I also think he didn't. I think
and he got suspended 4 games for doing nothing, so it all evened out.
Dumb.
A lot of silliness going on. But, I mean, wasn't there a game when he was with Tampa where he got, choked? The guy, choked him as he was, pushing him to the ground, and Tom was he's choking me. No flag. No flags. So, I don't know. I think it depends on the situation, but, those flags against the Patriots, let's talk about those, because those were crazy.
Oh, my God.
Terrible.
Have you ever seen anything
I've
like that?
I've never seen anything like it. Now, the digs,
special teams are already out there.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Okay.
That is crazy to me, because
I want you to validate how ridiculous.
There is no validation. Okay, so the offensive pass interference on the first one, crazy. There was a touchdown.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand it. Because he didn't affect the coverage.
Right.
And there are certain instances where the receiver picks or stops the defender.
And they were saying he was blocking.
He wasn't. He was just getting straight up the field, and the defender put his hands on him. That one was terrible, atrocious. Now, where he had that deep pass and he did extend his arm. I can see the extended arm as an offensive pass interference, because if you extend your hand out in a straight, that's like having a red glove on a white jersey, right? Like you see that out there.
You're also you should be allowed to figure out where the defender is, which is oftentimes, I think, what's going on.
Yeah, but
there.
he put a post out there.
Yeah, you can't do
But
that.
he said just wings.
Yeah, you got to chicken
Or
wings somebody.
flip
So Gronk, honestly, Gronk was the best at not extending his arm, but he had such long arms.
Right.
And he would flipper you. So as you get tight to him, you're on him. He gives you a flipper wing as he's cutting, so that is almost like an arm because he's so long.
Right.
And it would push you out just a little bit. And
Can't do that. Once you extend.
Can't extend.
Once you extend, because what the DB will say, and as an offensive player, it's true. It just creates a little bit of space for you not to make that extra step. And it just might be a boom and then here. But you can't extend. That's why you always got to teach them flip. Chicken wing, lean on it, never extend it.
And then wouldn't that really piss off defenders? Because you already understand that the league goes out of its way to protect quarterbacks, and even if you don't agree with it, you understand why. But the way that Mahomes has been sort of just mocking it in a way, like when he was running what he did that on the sideline, like I feel like there are defenders that are going to want to take him out.
I would want to just like take his legs out and try to give him the worst deep thigh bruise he's ever had in his life.
Ouch.
You know, because I've had a deep thigh. One time we were playing the Ravens in the playoffs, and Mayo, I think he knocked himself out on my thigh, and my thigh board was broken half. The actual plastic inside the thigh board was broken. And I had the worst thigh bruise from that game all the way through the Super Bowl. I had blood all the way in my ankle. It was crazy.
How much was a fine for the? Because I never wore pads. How much was a fine for the guy? Because there was a point in time where you had to wear them, right? So you would get fined if you didn't wear them. Because we never wore them.
Yeah, you guys were crazy. Like, you guys were in the era of like no thigh pads, no knee pads. I like to have the thigh pads.
Luckily, it doesn't affect his performance at all on the radio show.
No.
Mentally.
No thigh pads, but HGH.
You know what the coach
everyone.
said? Hey, listen, you're not going to wear those thigh pads. You better not come up in here with a thigh bruise.
Yeah.
My leg would be at times, I'd be like,